All right, welcome in. Uh, Wednesday wrap up with Emmitt and Cam. This is episode 5. Episode 5. Shiestied up, ready for playoff season. All that sort of shit.
Hell yeah, hell
I'm
yeah.
taking this off. It's hot as hell in
Hell
my
yeah.
house. You'll keep it on. Me, Cameron. We got our friend Eric here.
Dick.
We got Dick here, and
Bro,
so
that damning on the mic, that's crazy.
all right. First off, the Packers lost to the Lions. I have not talked about this one yet. Like, this is the first podcast. I'm doing my podcast on it tomorrow. I have another one on, I think, Friday. Dude, I'm so fucking pissed. Like, and here's, I think the reason I'm the most pissed is because I should have seen it coming. Like, I told myself it was coming. Like, I told myself, I went back and like looked at a bunch of my tweets and I'm like, I'm not going to believe that this team's going to make the playoffs until they're, kneeling the ball out in this game. Because I knew the second I got any fucking bit of faith in it, I knew they were going to choke. It's so fucking frustrating. Like, throughout that entire game, too, like, it felt exactly like, obviously, like, if you're not a Packers fan and you didn't, like, watch that, whatever it was, the NFC divisional game last year, it felt exactly like that. In terms of, like, every time the Packers had an opportunity to just, like, put them down, they didn't. And then, like, towards the end of the game, the biggest thing I was worried about, I did a podcast with my buddy Noah. We talked on Sunday before the Packers game. And he asked me, he's like, who are you more scared to play? Like a Lions team who's fighting for the playoffs or like one who like has nothing to play for? I'm like, the team who has nothing to play for. Do you think they pull that 7?
Yes, that little lateral play.
Do you think they pull that out if they have a chance at the playoffs? No fucking way they do. No chance. They were going for it all game. It was, it was just beyond frustrating. Rodgers played like shit. Aaron Jones fumbled in a big game again. Like,
yes, sir.
All of it. And then after the game, of course, like you get
Don't forget Quay Walker.
Quay, I don't even know. Dude,
lock that thug up. That's all I'm gonna say.
I have no idea.
Ridiculous, bro. Poor timing.
It was really bad. It was really bad by Quay Walker.
His brain just shut off. He was just like, bro.
Well, it's like he did an interview or whatever, like a couple days after the fact, obviously. And like he was just like, I don't even know why I did it. Like, which is like a frustrating answer.
He literally, like, even if it was like, yo, who just pushed me? He turns and sees it's a medical person and he's still just like,
yeah,
it's up, gang.
Again, I don't get it. And then like you get like the entire, like a lot of the team, like Alan Lazard did his interview after the game. It doesn't sound like he's going to come back. Not that I think
thought he was a superstar too.
Well, it's not even that. It's that the Packers are going to offer him veteran minimum and he's going to go get his money. It wasn't like some cocky shit like, oh, I'm going to be somebody else's number one. He just knows he's not going to get his money in Green Bay. And I can't fault him for it because they weren't going to pay him.
He was talking like the main character.
He was. He was. Well, and again, there's some sad fucking team. He's going to go to the Bears. Like they're already like hyping him up, and then they're going to do the same shit that Green Bay did this year, which is like convince themselves he's like some fucking elite wide receiver and that they don't need any other help. They're going to do that shit. I don't know. But the entire game, I don't know. The defense kind of played well until they didn't. Aaron Jones didn't necessarily play well. A.J. Dillon kept dropping passes. He was ineffective as hell. Like, Christian Watson was the best player. But, I mean, again, they had a fantastic chance to, like, all they had to do was beat the Lions. Granted, they were going to get washed by San Francisco anyway. But, like,
wouldn't you rather see the Seahawks get blown out by San Francisco than...
No.
You'd rather...
Well, I'm going to enjoy that shit this weekend. No, believe... Like,
You'd rather it be the Packers getting their back blown out on live television?
Because then at least, like, I can say that I made the playoffs. Instead, my team lost. Seattle got in. Like, it's just a whole different level of frustration.
But here's the thing. They honestly just hoed you by making that a primetime game because you should have known that shit was... There was nothing possible. There was no possible way you were going to the playoffs. You should have known that. You should have known that 5 weeks ago.
How so? Because of the primetime game. How so?
Like, I mean, like, they made, like, the whole narrative going into Sunday was, yo, if the Packers win at 5 p.m., like, it don't matter what goes on. If the Packers win, it's up. Like, they set that whole, like, if that was just in the morning and they went and lost, like, You wouldn't have been waiting the whole day for it.
Yeah, I don't know, but like it's tough because like again, they were in like a position that they definitely should like. It's one that they should have won. Like it doesn't matter who they were going. Like they should have. You're at home versus the Lions. Whatever, you blow it. You want to talk about Lamar?
Bro, the only thing I want to say about Lamar is, I want a chance to meet you. So come on down, buddy. I don't know if we got the money that you want, but
We got the cap.
I don't know if you like it wet, but we get wet as hell. Yeah, pause. But man, I don't know. All I know is I want him out. I'm over the Ravens.
Baltimore just in general, like here's the thing, because we were talking about it over text and I couldn't like convey my point, I think good. Like receivers aren't lining up to play with Lamar. They're not, because he's not a precision passer. Like they know that they're going to get like average, like people are going to complain. Like, I don't think someone was talking about, because like obviously DeAndre Hopkins is going to get traded in the offseason or whatever. And people are like, oh, I should go, everyone, all these quarterbacks needed like an elite receiver to take them to the next level. Like, I don't see Lamar getting much better as a passer. It's not like truly what?
No, I wasn't laughing at you. I was going to say something to Dallas, but then I just
like, again, he's just not going to get much better as a passer. Like, I don't see it. Like they have the scheme. Everyone complains about the scheme of like, all these guys like, oh, they just don't have anybody. It's like, well, when they get somebody, that person leaves because they don't want to be there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously Hollywood Brown couldn't catch.
But I mean, he ain't him.
Right, but you're going to be paying what? You're going to have to pay a receiver top dollar for what? You mean, like, it does not make sense.
Well, I mean, that's the thing though, is that we don't know.
No, but we do. Like, Hollywood Brown said he didn't want to be there because of the scheme, and the scheme's not going to change.
I mean, but Hollywood Brown isn't the type of receiver that you're like, yeah, let's change our scheme to fit him. Like,
no, but that's not what I'm saying. Right, but like, let's say the Ravens got Devontae Adams. Like, the Ravens aren't changing their scheme. They're not, like, because Lamar's not a drop back. Like, he's not going to go there and throw it 35 times a game.
I mean,
he's
there's
just not.
there's other ways to feed receivers than like drop back, like let them run 35 yards,
right?
Their route.
Right, but Lamar's not consistent and accurate enough on like the short stuff. Like, if it was like, sure, like if you wanted to feed him through the screen game or something, but Lamar's not a fantastic like screen passer. Like he struggles at his accuracy like equally around the field. Like, it's not like he can't throw the deep ball. It's just like he struggles as much with the deep ball as he does with like the short pass or like a screen or like over the middle. Like, he struggles everywhere with it. So like getting a receiver to come there is just not like, it's not going to happen. Like, people like Lamar.
Should go leave and find some receivers.
Right. But then how long until they're leaving too? Cause they're not getting touches.
If they already locked down, it don't matter.
Right, but they can request a trade like Hollywood Brown did.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see, but again, I don't think Lamar wise. I don't think leaving to go to a place that's going to try to make you like a drop back passer. Like, it's just going to make him worse as a player. Like
Russ.
Well, no, not like Russ, because with Russ, like
we saw what happened.
Right, but that's different. Like with Russ leaving, he was leaving like, it wasn't just that he was leaving like a scheme that like benefited him. It was also that he was like leaving all of this like elite talent and going to where your best receiver in terms of like experience is Cortland Sutton, like who's mid at best. Like, you're going to, with Lamar, he's going to have to go learn a whole new system with a bunch of, he's not going to turn into, regardless. You could give him Tyreek Hill, you could give him the AFC All-Stars at wide receiver, and he's not going he's still going to be passing like 25 times a game at like 60% completion percentage or 62. Like that's just, it doesn't matter what happens. Like making Lamar pass more is just going to make him worse as a player. Whereas like using him in his like running ability, like that's what you have to use him for. Like, you know what Philadelphia fans aren't saying right now? Like, stop running Jalen Hurts. Like, I don't know. Lamar, it seems like he doesn't want to be ran. And if that's the case, like, then get him out. I didn't say run through. I said ran. And so, but it's like, if he's going to do that, then it, like, I don't know. If he doesn't want to run, then he's about as good as Gardner Minshew. Like,
hey,
you think I'm kidding. You think I'm kidding, but I'm not.
I know you're not.
All right. You want to go playoffs? All right. Who wants to go first? Eric?
I already.
Let's
let Dick go.
We'll have Eric go first. All right, Eric. First round. Who do we got? We got Bills, Dolphins, Bengals, Ravens, Jags, Chargers. Who do we got?
All right, Bills, Dolphins. I mean, they're gonna have two, so definitely give me the Bills. Easy. Ravens ain't having Lamar. Give me Bengals. Jacksonville's going hot, so give me Jacksonville. I like Justin Herbert though.
Let's go over to the NFC now. We got Bucks, Cowboys, Vikings, Giants, and then Niners, Seahawks.
Come on, Tom Brady. Give me Brady.
Who else? Vikings, Giants, Niners, Seahawks.
Oof, that Vikings-Giants game. That could go either way, man.
We just saw that matchup. What was it? A couple weeks ago, and it took a 61-yard field goal for the Vikings to win in regulation.
Vikings do win close games.
They also lose games they should win. So give me the Giants.
All right, Niners, Seahawks.
Oh man, don't do this to me, man. Give me the Hawks. By a field goal. Maybe by a safety or something.
I'm dead.
All right, Cameron. We'll go to you. Who are you liking in the first round?
You want my first round prediction?
Yeah, let's go wild card.
All right. AFC side. Look. This is what I want. I like watching people have to deal with the stupid shit that they say. So I want to see Justin Herbert go out and clap some butt cheeks so Emmanuel Acho can shut his dumb ass up. So I'm going to take the Chargers in the first round. I think it'll be a pretty close game, but I think, Keenan Allen's getting up there. I think he's going to go out there and, pull a hammy doing his best for his boys in the playoffs, I want to see all those receivers get injured because how hard they try. Bengals and Ravens, it don't even matter if Lamar plays. Joe Burrow, he's just going to riz the whole defense. I mean, he's left his imprint on them already. So, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, they're taking them down. Bills, Dolphins, Bills. Cowboys and Buccaneers. This is the one that I have I haven't thought of enough. I haven't come to a conclusion yet. I just don't know. I go back and forth. So I'm like, Tom Brady's him, and I want to doubt Tom Brady, but then I'm like, it's Tom Brady, and every time I've done that, and then it's still Mike Evans and whoever else. But then, it's the Cowboys. But then I'm like, Dak's a fraud. But then I'm like, they're a good ass team. And that defense, I know Micah Parsons is going to be all over Tom Brady. So, I don't know. But I think as of right now, I'm leaning more Cowboys. As much as I want to see Tom Brady go in there and just take them down just from a Cowboys hater perspective, I don't think it's going to happen. Vikings and Giants, I don't know. I don't know, because this is the thing. Are we going to get baby bitch meltdown Justin Jefferson, or are we going to get Justin Jefferson? Because is Jair still in his head? What's going on with him? Who knows? And one thing I can say is it don't matter. Saquon's getting 20 touches, and they gonna get at least 80 yards out of him. And I think that those 80 yards are gonna be what gets them the win. And I'm taking the Giants still. And I'm riding with my boys. Fuck the Niners.
Let's fucking
Kenneth
go!
Walker. I'm riding with my boys. We're taking it all the way. I'm taking the Seahawks. 31-10. Everyone's like, "Oh, San Francisco, it's so dangerous." But watch what's gonna happen. You know, like my boy said, it's hard to beat them 3 times. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I cannot.
It's hard to beat a team 3 times.
I can't tell you how much I hate that argument so much.
Hey.
It literally requires it matters if the games are like close. But like they've been getting fucked all year. They have not been close once.
The Seahawks have had to pull out all of their plays, and the 49ers haven't had to pull out anything.
Yeah, so all right,
Seahawks 31-10. It's going to be a crazy upset. Everyone's going to be like, "Wait, what? They just went in there." But it doesn't even matter because they're going to get plowed next game. Geno Smith's going to show his true colors. But let's see. I'm assuming that you're taking all of Vegas's favorites.
Not necessarily. Well, actually, maybe. I'm gonna just get the easy ones out of the way. I'll take Niners and Bills and Bengals. The Ravens and Dolphins are starting backup quarterbacks, and so I think that's like enough.
Mm-hmm.
With the Niners over the Seahawks, again, it's not even that like, oh, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. Not when you're blowing them out. Like, not when you're pulling starters at the end of the game because you're beating their ass the entire time. Like that, again, if you're playing a team close a couple of times, it's hard to beat them. But they've been getting fucking smacked each time.
Hey, as long as this nigga gets triple digits, I don't give no fuck. They can lose by 17 points.
And they probably will. They probably will.
I don't get no fuck. Get this nigga 100 in a playoff game. I
think the spread's 10, and I think that they cover quite easily. Like, the only reason that the second game looked close is because Geno Smith pulled a Dak Prescott and got a garbage time touchdown. Like, that's the only reason that game looked close. They're gonna fuck them again. The Seahawks can't stop San Francisco. They can't. George Kittle is probably gonna go for another 2 touchdowns. Who knows? Bengals and Bills again, backup quarterbacks. I'll finish up the AFC. I'm going to go with the Jags. These are the 2 most inconsistent teams in football when it comes to like playing their A game. Like the Jags, the Jaguars and the Chargers, like you never know what's going to happen with the Chargers. The Chargers played their starters last week and lost to Denver. They played their starters and lost to Denver.
Come on now, dog.
And like the Chargers also don't have an impressive win all year. They've beaten the Raiders. They beat the Texans, the Browns, the Broncos, the Falcons, the Cardinals, the Dolphins. And if I'm not mistaken, that one was Tua played that game. That's right, because Herbert played on Sunday night, but they didn't play well. Then they beat the Titans, who I think were starting a backup quarterback. I think they were starting Malik Willis. They beat the Colts, and then they beat the Rams. Not a single impressive win all season long. And then the Jaguars, again, it kind of feels like I'm making a little bit of a case against them. But it's like, this is the same team that lost 5 in a row. They lost to the Eagles. Then they lost to the Texans. They lost to the Colts. They lost to the Broncos. Like, this team throws up duds every once in a while. Yeah, they're riding hot off of wins off of the Titans, Cowboys, Jets, Texans, Titans. But it's like, the only good team in that one is Dallas. And Dallas threw the game away. Like, I don't know. They are both able to just throw gigantic. I think that they can. I don't know what team is going to show up, but I feel more confident that the Jags are going to stay hot than the Chargers are going to like bring their A game, especially because they seem so poorly coached most of the time. Moving in, I'll save Cowboys Bucks for last. everyone on the Vikings Giants side of things, I think everyone has been overblowing how much of frauds the Vikings are. And you know how much it takes for me to say, like, damn, chill out. Like, I've been dunking on them since like week 6 that they're so extremely fraudulent. But like, I think we're forgetting that the Giants have Daniel Jones at quarterback. Like, I think we're forgetting that. Like, Daniel Jones is not good. He's not.
Neither is
Vanilla
Kirk Cousins.
Vic.
But here's the thing. Kirk Cousins at least is like consistent, and you know for the most part like what.
This is why I say it all depends on Justin Jefferson. Because if Justin Jefferson still has
but the Giants don't
PTSD,
right? But the Giants don't have a single corner who can match up with Jefferson. They don't. Like, they had a corner who might have been able to, and James Bradbury, and they cut him, and he went to the Eagles. Like, that was the only person who I think on their entire team could have. Like, yeah, Daniel Jones this year. Again, he started 16 games. How many passing touchdowns do you think he has? Started
35.
16 games. How many?
He had 35.
I can't tell if you're joking.
What is 10?
No. He said, what is 12?
He had 15 in 16 games.
More than you.
That is gross.
15 and
That's
16.
gross. That is gross. He had 7 rushing touchdowns. But, like, I don't...
They trying to discredit the white
22
man.
touchdowns in 16 games. That's gross. And again, like, the team like wasn't even that much worse when they had Davis Webb, not Davis Webb, whatever. When they had Webb starting this week. Why can't I remember his first name? David Webb.
Joe.
They weren't Joe Webb. There we go.
Is that actually what it is?
I think it's Joe Webb. Yeah, but like the point is that they weren't that much worse playing against the Eagles with their backups.
Tough.
Davis Webb. It is Davis Webb. Okay. I felt weird. Joe Webb's a different guy.
The gaslighting is crazy.
Different guy. But yeah, I don't see a scenario in which the Vikings lose this game. Again, I'd love more than anything for the Vikings to lose in hilarious fashion, but I just don't see it happening.
Okay.
Then we move on to this game. And this game, Bucks Cowboys, there's a bunch of really fun storylines going in. The Cowboys have never beaten Tom Brady. He's 7-0 against them. But the Buccaneers are a team with a losing record coming into the playoffs. Granted, I think teams with a losing record in their first playoff game, I think it's something crazy. They're like 4-2.
Ridiculous.
Which is pretty crazy. The only losses were, I think it was, at least one of them was 2020 against Tom Brady. It was Taylor Heineke and Washington losing to Tampa in that game. And the other crazy thing is Jason Garrett pointed out on the Sunday night broadcast how bad the Cowboys team is on grass as opposed to turf. And I think it's like they're averaging like 7 points a game less. They're giving up like 10 points a game more.
Damn.
On grass as opposed to turf.
Damn. And baby legs.
And it's pretty crazy. And again, there's just it feels like there's just going to be this like, or there could be this like Tom Brady magical like turnaround, and all he has to do to get to the Super Bowl is beat Dak Prescott, then Jalen Hurts, and then either Kirk Cousins or Brock Purdy. And it's like, how the fuck are we here again?
I know.
But for me, honestly, I think
it's so beautiful.
I think the Cowboys get it done. I think they do, because I think that there's going to be some miscues on on the Buccaneers side, whether that's Tom Brady's fault or not. I think that losing Shaq Barrett earlier this season hurts. They're not going to have as good of a pass rush as they did in week 1 when Dak broke his finger. The Buccaneers, yeah, they only played their starters for a half, but they didn't it's not like they looked great and then they're like, all right, guys, like, rest up. They pulled them and said rest up, but they didn't look particularly good. Trayvon Diggs has been in a completely different tier this year when it comes to corner. Like, he's not ass anymore. Like, he's a legitimately good corner. And so I think he can for sure like lock down Mike Evans. Their second cornerback spot is extremely iffy. It's not good for them, but I think that Dallas will be able to get it done because of part of Tom Brady's shifting offensive line. We don't know what they're going to do at center. They're on their third string center, but now their center, who hasn't played all year, is practicing again, so he might play. I think that there's just a whole lot of question marks. I think that the Cowboys beat them for the first time in franchise or not in in franchise history. They'll beat Tom Brady. Let's go back to Eric. Eric, we got next round. You got let's start on the AFC. You got Bengals, Bills, Chiefs, Jags. Who you got? Bengals, Bills.
Bengals, Bills. Oof. Man, give me Josh Allen. Underrated. Should win MVP. Probably isn't.
All right, and then we go Jags, Chiefs. Who we got?
All right, give me the MVP. Patrick Mahomes.
I guess Trevor Lawrence is winning MVP.
Hey, yo! What the hell?
We move over into the divisional
not
round.
know.
Divisional round. Who do we got? You got Cowboys versus the Eagles, and then you got Niners, Vikings.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, hold it. Sorry, this is mine again. My bad. I was like, that doesn't look right. You chose the Seahawks. Give me a second. Oh, you have. I think you chose. Yeah, you chose. There we are. All right, sweet. So you had the Chiefs and then the Bills, and then you have the Eagles versus the Seahawks, and then Buccaneers versus Giants.
Oh, man. Give me the Eagles. Unfortunately, give me the Eagles. Jalen Hurts is just game.
And then you have Buccaneers versus Giants.
Man. All right, well, the proper answer should be Giants because the Buccaneers are pretty, shit right now. But give me the Buccaneers. Tom Brady's going to win a fucking Super Bowl losing record. It's going to happen. Already.
Look, see, now that when you pull mine back up, you got to switch my shit. I'm picking the Bucks because I forgot about the losing record old man storyline. The script is about to go crazy because my Super Bowl script, you'll see.
So you said switch to the Bucks.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So Bucks are gonna win. Eagles are gonna win. I'm gonna have the same conference championship as this guy over here. Not on this side though. I'm taking the other white boy.
I know you were. I knew you were.
I'm taking the Bengals. This is the only pick that I actually believe. I'm not just dick writing. I mean, I'm dick writing, but I'm not just dick writing. They're hot as fuck. Joe Burrow's hot as fuck.
What do you mean by that?
Joe Burrow's hot as fuck. Joe Burrow's really playing really good right now as well. Nah, I don't know. The way that game started before the unfortunate event happened, they were looking hot. It was looking like it was going to be a good game. I think that they were going to pull it off. That team is just so hot right now. It's looking exactly like this. I'm having the same feeling I had last year. And last year before the playoffs, I randomly was just like, you know what? I think the Bengals are taking it to the Super Bowl. They look really good right now. And the way that shit was lining up, I thought, shit, you never know. I have the same fucking feeling this year, but I'm more confident because we saw what they did like throughout the season. And they just look like a better version of what the fuck I was so like questioning last year. I had questions coming into the season, but then all of a sudden they just kicked that shit into overdrive. And Jamar Chase just looks like he never missed a fucking game.
And then what do you got? Chiefs, Chargers. You have the Chiefs.
I'm gonna take the Chiefs, just absolutely blasting the Chargers into another dimension.
You're gonna do it right
Justin
now, Rosie?
isn't gonna touch Patrick Mahomes until he's on a different team.
Let's see. Trying to find mine. All right. So for me, I think me and Eric have the same layout in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4 in that conference. I have the Chiefs beating the Jaguars. They beat them earlier this year. The Jags didn't necessarily play well, and neither did the Chiefs. And the Chiefs still won pretty convincingly. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was 2 scores that they won by. Yeah, it was 27-17. But the game never felt like it was really in question. I think that probably happens again. And again, the Jaguars are, again, a team I don't know if they're going to bring their A game, their C game, their F game. Like, I don't know. Like, I would not bet on them. I wouldn't bet on them doing it 2 weeks in a row.
They play like J.R. Smith.
Yeah. And listen.
This is the hardest one.
It is. And
out of all the playoffs, this is my Super Bowl.
I don't know. I still don't even know. I still don't even know who I'm going to pick. I was going into it thinking I was going to pick the Bengals, but I think that the Bills
they got the script.
They have that, but they also get like they don't even get like a bye week. They get something that's easier than a bye week. They get the Dolphins with Skylar Thompson. Like they get something like that, like
They
to
get a
boost them
warm-up.
in. They get that to boost them in. And yeah, you could say like, oh, the Bengals get that too with the Ravens, but
The
I don't
Ravens
know if they
defense
do.
is still different.
Like the Ravens defense is one of the few teams that still causes Joe Burrow some sort of like struggle. Like
Yeah.
I could 100% see this game going either way. I started thinking Bengals. I think I leaned myself into saying that it's going to be the Bills
Wild
rematch of
take.
last year's conference championship.
Dog shit.
As we move on to this side, the Niners are going to wipe out the Vikings.
Yes.
That game's not even going to be close. Again, the second the Vikings get in a game where they're up against a competent opponent, they get washed. That's going to happen in this one. Then you go Cowboys Eagles, and this one is I think the game that a lot of people have been waiting for all year long in terms of
Healthy teams,
healthy quarterbacks for the most part. Is
Super
what we've
Bowl
been waiting
on the
for.
line.
Yeah, trip to the conference championship. This will be the Cowboys' first conference championship since 1995.
They've been talking way too much for it to be fucking 30 years, bro.
And so I think that Dallas wins this one. One, because I think that Philly is injured right now, really injured. Lane Johnson is going to play with, I think, he has like a torn.
It's better to just sit
something in his abdomen.
Micah Parsons, bro.
And he's going to get whooped. I think he's going to get whooped. I think Jalen Hurts, when he's played against the Cowboys, other than the one game this year in which they got spotted 3 turnovers by Cooper Rush, and yeah, you could probably say the same thing about Gardner Minshew. But like the problem with the Eagles, the thing is that like they got spotted 3 turnovers and their offense still didn't look super impressive versus Dallas. They won, I think it was like 26-17. Like it wasn't super impressive. The Cowboys, on the other hand, like
blowing back.
Their defense didn't look good either against the backup quarterback, but like Dak Prescott, he threw a pick 6 and that's become a really big issue. And that could honestly blow, that's one of the reasons that the Cowboys could lose in the divisional or in the wild card round versus Tampa Bay. But like, I think that Philly's defense, I don't think is going to be able to stop them. And even if they do, like outside of this last game that the Cowboys played, because I think that's such a fluke from what we've seen from them the rest of the season. Like Dak Prescott, after he came back after the injury, he lost 2 games. Both were in overtime. Both were on the road. Like, I think it's extremely fluky, like how they had lost previously. Or not fluky, but like it showed that they were at least able to like come back for the most part from those. Like obviously you couldn't come back from the game losing pick 6, but like he did that. And then next week against Philadelphia threw another pick 6 on the, one of the first offensive drive, and they still went and hung 40 on Philadelphia. Like it didn't really matter. So I think Dallas is going to take it there. Let's move on. Conference championships.
Eagles are frauds.
We will start out with, let's see.
Eagles.
We'll start out with
Eagles.
Eric. Eric, you have Buccaneers, Eagles. You're taking the Eagles.
No, honestly, so like the Eagles, okay. So they almost lost to the Colts. Like the Colts. So I'm gonna take the Buccaneers.
He said that's it. That's my point.
I'm not gonna forget that. That one, like they lost the game and then they almost lost to the Colts. They like really had to pull it out.
And then what do you got on the AFC side?
Oh man. See, if this either happened Bengals or Bills or Chiefs, man, either way this would be a good game. But give me Mahomes. He's got way too many wide receivers. And he's gonna pull it out.
What the fuck are they doing, bro? What the fuck? Not they like, bro, what the fuck? They're really just like, hey, can we fastest 40-yard dash time? We need him.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like, fuck. It's not even, bro can be complete dog butt, and they'll just throw him out there for one play, and I guarantee you Mahomes is like, oh, here's 77 yards. And it's going to be in the middle of the fucking playoffs where he gets his first touch of the season. It's a touchdown.
It wouldn't shock me. All right, let's move it over to yours, Cameron. We got, for yours, I think we have the Bengals versus the Chiefs. And then, let's see, sorry.
The Buccaneers and the
Yeah, Bengals, Chiefs, and then you have Buccaneers, Eagles.
Okay, so I ain't saying that the Eagles are frauds, but they're frauds, and I ain't trying to dick ride or nothing. But I'm still sticking with my narrative. The script is gonna play out, and it's gonna be more important than the skill, and the Buccaneers are gonna take it. There's gonna be a crazy Tom Brady turnaround. We're gonna be like, wait, ain't this nigga like 45 or something? And it's just not gonna matter. And then on the other side, I mean, bro, the proof is in the pudding. Mahomes gets rizzed up by Joe Burrow every time that they play. He folds every time. And I'm not gonna hold it against him because I would too. I would fold so fast. I'd fold in a millisecond. But bro owns Mahomes. They're gonna walk up in Kansas City and leave a bunch of people crying. They're just my pick out the AFC. It don't matter what ends up happening. That's just who I'm gonna pick coming out the AFC regardless. They're taking it they're going back to back. I don't know if they're gonna win back to back, but they're going back to back. Well, they didn't win the first one, so I don't know if they're gonna win on their second chance. Is what I meant.
And then for me, Chiefs, Bills. We've seen what's happened the past two postseasons for the Bills. They've been eliminated in Kansas City by Kansas City. This one, I think it would wind up being a neutral site game. And I still don't really think that it matters. When the chips are on the table, at least against the Bills, Mahomes plays his best. We saw him tear up the best team in the league, or the best defense in the league last year. He had 13 seconds to save his season against the number one scoring defense, and he did.
Just like me.
But not just that. Like, what was the entire reason everyone said that the Bills were going to win the Super Bowl this year? They signed Von Miller. They signed Von Miller. Von Miller is going to have as much playing time in the playoffs as you and me. He's going to be sitting on his couch watching it. So give me the Chiefs. Then Niners, Cowboys. Again, chance for the Cowboys to reach their first Super Bowl since 1995. Chance for the Niners to get back to the Super Bowl and face off against Mahomes. And for me, I think that's what happens. I think that the 49ers wind up beating Dallas. They have the better roster. All pro rosters got released today. I think they had, I'm not sure if it was 2 or 3 all pro selections just on their offense. I'll look that up, but I know Kyle Juszczyk was, I know Trent Williams, or I believe at least Trent Williams was. They just have a way too talented roster to let
lose. Those bum bitches.
Like, I don't even think it's that. Like, I think Dallas is good, but like also like that turf stat, like let's say that you believe that stat or whatever, and like I think that there's I can put some into it. Like at some point, like that's 3 playoff games on grass in a row, and like I think at some point, like they're just not going to be able to overcome that. So I have San Francisco, Kansas City rematch of what was that 2019, the 2019 Super Bowl. We'll go back across. We will start with Eric. His Super Bowl, I believe he has Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus it's going to be Patrick Mahomes. Does Patrick Mahomes wind up getting his revenge on Brady for a couple of years ago?
That's a good question. Also, another topic on the 49ers. I haven't worked out in a few months, but, I can go play quarterback, so there's a good chance to win that game. Man, this would be a good game. The Chiefs, Buccaneers again. Honestly, I want to say the Chiefs, but, there's always that script, man. There's that script. Like, Patrick Mahomes is going to break his fucking Achilles.
Those don't break, they tear.
It's all right. He's going to be the next Andrew Luck no matter what.
He's going to be the first one. Bro. Yeah. My script is better.
But,
so you have the Bucks?
No, give me Mahomes. Fuck it. I pick Mahomes the first time. Bro, I'm a Mahomes fan. That shit. I'll be right in that shit.
I was going to say, like, they played earlier this year, and the game was over at halftime.
This is a different team. This is a different Bucks team if they make it to the Super Bowl against these Chiefs. Because this time the Bucks don't have that pass rush that's going to be ripping apart Mahomes' booty hole.
Exactly. Well, also, hey, like I'll let you guess some stats. How many rushing yards do you think Tampa Bay had as a team versus Kansas City earlier this year?
86.
You said 86, Eric?
I was gonna guess 87, but now I feel like I'd be meat riding. Give me 43.
They had 3.
What?
Three yards on 6 carries, getting a half yard per carry.
Damn, they just like me, bro. I play that shit. And fuck.
So
I lose a couple yards in Madden. I'm like, yeah, the run ain't going this game.
So I think that, yeah, I think that, and let's go. You have Bengals versus Buccaneers.
Here is my script, okay? Look, it's gonna be Brady and the Buccaneers coming in hot. Everyone's like, oh, holy shit, they turned it around. They're in the Super Bowl somehow, some way. The NFC sucks dick, bro. No way. Like, that's why I think there's a possibility this could even happen. The NFC just sucks. Like, there's good teams. They all good, but like each of them have a question mark, and they're all the quarterback. And like the only one who is here that's done something is this nigga Brady. And like he is the nigga that I would believe to just turn around and pull that season out the ass. But I think he's gonna make it there. AFC, obviously the Bengals are my favorite going there regardless. This is the script I'm going with. Tom Brady is gonna march in there. Everyone's gonna be thinking they got it in the bag. They're gonna be up big. They're gonna be rolling with it. But the torch is going to be passed that night to Joe Burrow. All these years, you can't say anything special about Brady. He's just him. And you know who's got that? Joe Burrow. He's just him. He's got that unspoken risk. He's gonna walk out there halftime. His helmet's gonna be off. He's gonna push his hair back. He's gonna look at Jamar and wink, and the whole crowd is gonna squirt. And then it's just gonna start moving.
Yo.
Brady ain't used to those rain games.
I don't think it's Nickelodeon the way it's slime.
Yeah, for real. No cap. I'm taking the Bengals. They're gonna take it all the way. I don't care who comes out the NFC. The Bengals are taking it all the way.
All right. Jesus. All
But
right,
regardless, the torch is getting passed. Joe Burrow is gonna be crowned the Himber Bowl MVP.
The Himber Bowl MVP.
The Himber Bowl MVP.
That's what he's gonna be walking out with that night.
Bro, how does the NFC not have like a single quarterback besides Jalen Hurts that's gonna be there for long term? Like, just look at those teams. Like, I was just thinking about that. Brady and Jalen Hurts are the only two I would trust.
Why are you trusting Jalen Hurts?
Because he's good. The hell?
He's more him than the rest of them.
Because he's had one good season, and yet he got injured at the end.
Hey, I'm gonna trust him over
the rest of them.
What was that?
Yeah, exactly.
I said he's more him than the rest of them, and he said he's gonna trust them more than the other guys.
Feel like there's only two teams on the AFC side I wouldn't trust right now, and that's Ravens and Bengals because their starters are out. But all the starters on the AFC I would take over the NFC.
Yeah.
Well, that's easy.
For me,
clears.
For me, I'm gonna take in the Super Bowl. I have Niners Chiefs. The Chiefs are gonna win this one. They did it earlier this year. They whooped a team. Granted, it was Christian McCaffrey's first game on them, and I think they still had Jimmy G at quarterback. But they won 44-23. They put it on. Then, like, I think it showed, especially like towards the end of that game, that the Chiefs can run the ball when they need to / want to. But like with how involved Jerick McKinnon has gotten lately, like he's going to go crazy. Absolutely crazy. I think he has a receiving touchdown now in like 6 straight games.
Ain't that some shit?
Which is just crazy. Isaiah
you literally were like, damn, Jerick McKinnon getting fucking touches. now look where we are, man.
Exactly.
That's facts though.
Isaiah Pacheco also at running back. He's been getting a lot of touches lately. He's been making the most of them. Mecole Hardman should be back. He's not a great receiver, but he's one that Mahomes has a pretty good rapport with. I think that the Chiefs are going to win this one. They were my preseason pick. My NFC preseason pick for the NFC did not work super well.
Which was
the one year I've ever picked Green Bay. The one year I've ever picked them. Did not end well. But yeah, so I'm taking the Chiefs. Eric, you're taking, I believe it is, the Chiefs as well.
Yeah.
You have the Bengals. All three of our champions coming out of the AFC. The NFC is just kind of, it's mediocre. It's not super good. I think that there are like a handful of teams that could come out, but not in the same way as like the AFC or NFC. Like in the AFC, like you could say either the Bengals, Bills, or Chiefs had come out, and you're like, yeah, I could see that. But like because they're all so good, and then versus in the NFC, it's like Eagles,
If you told me the
49ers,
Eagles or the Cowboys or the 49ers win the
Buccaneers.
Super Bowl, I'm like, what the fuck happened to the
But you're
NFC?
just like, but you're also just like, you could see them all coming out of the NFC because you're like, yeah, like the rest of the conference sucks. Like, yeah, I can see that. Like, I could see the Eagles. All they have to do is win 2 home games. All they have to do is probably beat the winner of, because I don't think Seattle is going to win. All they have to do is beat the winner of Tampa Bay, Dallas, and then they're on to the next round versus, Brock Purdy or Kirk Cousins or whoever. Like, that's all they have to do.
NFC got no QB riz.
None whatsoever. And I think that eventually is going to lead to some AFC dominance. It's kind of the opposite of how it had been for a while, although like early 2000s to like mid 2000s and like early 2010s, like that was the AFC. Like it was always Ben, Brady, Peyton, and Rivers. Like that's who it was. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know 100% no. But anything else left to say? Any other topics you guys want to talk about?
Man, I don't know. I'm just excited.
Just for playoffs?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready as fuck, bruh. Let's get it going. I'm ready to sleep through all the NFC games.
Play them for like 10 minutes, just watch.
Honestly, all I'm looking forward to is whoever the fuck ends up in the fucking divisional against the Chiefs. Or whoever is coming out of the fucking Bengals Bills game.
That's who you're rooting for?
I'm just yes.
Yeah.
Whoever the fuck's coming out that shit, they're taking it to the Super Bowl. But I'm just looking forward to that game. That's my Super Bowl, especially since we missed it.
I think, well, the craziest thing, because again, the reason, and I'm going to break this down more on my podcast tomorrow, but like the only reason that I'm picking the Chiefs, because I mean, 1, Mahomes, but like 2, health. Like the Bengals are now, like, what was their problem in the playoffs last year? Like what cost them the Super Bowl?
Offensive line. And then in this last game, their offensive line was like, y'all mind if we drop like flies?
And so La'el Collins done for the year. I believe a guard or their center is also in a walking boot. So they're down 2 offensive line starters, and I think that that's probably going to catch up to them. And then I already talked about Von Miller and how huge that's going to be, that they're not going to have the person who won them the game earlier this year.
It ain't even going to matter, gang. Joe Burrow just gonna fly right past that bum bitch Josh Allen. Nah, you see how crazy I switched on him? The other white boy came through and raised me up. Josh Allen's still a dog. Don't even get it twisted, but it ain't his time.
Yeah, you were a big Josh Allen guy, and then Joe
coming
Burrow
into this year, and then because I was like that coming into this year, and then all of a sudden he was just like, "Y'all mind if I go mush brain halfway between these games?" Like it just all I was like, "Yeah, Bills coming in hot," and then they won a couple games. And then I was just like, yeah, this is nice to watch. And then Josh Allen, every game was just like, mid pass, bro.
Just throwing picks.
For real. He just, bro, it was just all of a sudden mid pass. He was doing his best Tua in 50 years cosplay.
Bro, 3 years, the fuck?
Yeah, at this rate, they're going to play him next game.
It wouldn't. They already ruled him out, but yeah, it wouldn't shock me it would not shock me if they.
He's out there warming up before the game, bro.
If they somehow beat the Bills, it wouldn't shock me if he played. They won't beat the Bills, so it's not going to matter. But
yeah, they're going to sign some free agent. Some free agent to play a playoff game.
At Emmitt J. Sevores on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. At Cam R Sucks on Instagram, as well as on SoundCloud. I don't know any of Eric's hats.
At your mom's house, motherfucker.
at your mom's house, I guess.
Yeah.
Stream never stop. On
Play that shit
Instagram,
right now.
on Instagram, on Twitter, Instagram, Twitter, on
SoundCloud,
all platforms,
Spotify, Apple
Apple,
Music.
Spotify,
Play it.
everything like that.
Run
This
it
has been the
out
Wednesday
while
wrap
we
up.
running out.
Have a good one.